Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Gulfstream. Today, Ron Nicoletti along with Brian Nato, and it is another sultry day here in South Florida. We're starting the day with a fast main track, firm turf course. Of course, we got the all-weather Tapeta, and there you see the clouds in the blue sky. Looking pretty good this afternoon. And Brian, a little later on, $500,000 gross jackpot guarantee in that Rainbow Six.
Yeah, we're going to let everybody know early and often because it's a big number. $500,000 starts in race 4 on this 9-race card today. Tough sequence today. Get involved, get after it because, boy, Ronnie, it is growing quickly.
Yeah, we got a nice weekend ahead, too. We got a really good 12-race card tomorrow. We got a handicap, overnight handicap, and a really good stakes for sprinters, so it's going to be a good day. So that takes care of all the early business this afternoon. First race, 6 furlongs. Maiden claim is 3 and up, $25,000. Once again, not a lot of scratches on today's card, but they note that the number 2 is now listed as a gelding. And in here, you got your early pick 5 ticket.
Yeah, $24 after a scratch in race 2. Like Ronnie said, not too many of them, though, on the card. We'll get to the opener in a second. I go with the experienced runner, Kohaku, for George Delgado in race 2, and where a race 2-year-old race where I went too deep. Mogaloo down inside. It's a tough turf sprint in the 3rd for 3-year-olds. A good race, too. In race 4, 51 is the order. Refua should be involved throughout. And then the single in the get-out leg, race 5. Poco Charlie off the Claudio Gonzalez claim.
Poco Charlie, first 4. As you mentioned, Claudio Gonzalez getting back to this first race. A couple of horses in here. I have the number 4, Uranium, on top of my ticket. You went with the number 6, Ready, Seek, Go. So we're going to go back and show you these horses last race, both of them together. First, we're going to pick up Ready, Seek, Go at the start. You're going to see this horse breaking slowly in here. It's broken in the tangle, and there you can see right there. So certainly Ready, Set, Go was up against it early on in that race. And we're going to switch to the 316th poles here, and we're just going to show you these horses turning for home. There's Uranium. There's Ready, Seek, Go. And Uranium looked like it was going to win, but got nailed at the wire, as you're going to see coming up. But keep your eye on Ready, Set, Go, Seek, Go, who closes very nicely in here. So there's Ready, Seek, Go is, of course, the number 1 coming into your picture. And there is Uranium. Now, just can't hold off. That was the big favorite in there, the 9-5 favorite that they just couldn't hold off. Bad Boy Bobby. And then you're going to see into your screen, Ready, Seek, Go, was able to close and grab some ground.
I'm glad you showed the start of the race, too, because Ready, Seek, Go, as you look back in his past performances, is a horse that wants to be involved throughout. Obviously, at the start, he lost he lost his running style, basically. Today, drawn outside the speed of Uranium, I think he's in a good spot, too. That's why I put him on top. He needs to break, though, today. There's no doubt about it.
You know, Ready, Seek, Go, there certainly needs to break for Jenna Antonucci. Angel Arroyo on the saddle. As I mentioned, did go with Uranium as a logical choice. You saw the race right there, got beat in the neck by the big favorite in there. So we'll see how that horse runs this afternoon. Went with the speed. Wanted to talk to you about the number 1 in here, Royal Harry, who's dropping today to the 25 level. Going to wear blinkers this afternoon after showing some earlier interest in fading. That was back-to-back sprints against 40 optional claimers, optional claiming level, optional maiden claiming level. Fernando Abreu, Lionel Reyes named to ride this afternoon. I thought maybe this horse on the inside could hold on for a share. 10-1 on the board right now.
On the class drop, too, and I think that plays a little bit in here. He was the 4th horse I used in my early pick 5, and I agree. And you're going to get a square price on that one, too.
What about Celestial Gaze?
Yeah, lightly raced, ran well off the Danny Hertak claim. We've got a stat to show on Danny as well. We'll bring it up here now. Danny's been going good guns here, and 6 for 26, 23%. Look at that big ROI. Dirt sprints here at Gulfstream the past year, and he claimed this one off Todd Pletcher for 12.5, moved him up to a quarter. I thought he ran well to be behind Uranium and Ready, Seek, Go, and he's a stalker in a race where, again, if Ready, Seek, Go breaks, the pace is going to be honest in here.
Now, it's very early in the wagering, but I just wanted to point out the outside horse in here, Mighty Frost. They're taking all the early money at 2-1, so if you're putting an early pick 5 together, together, just watch the board. See if this horse, maybe it's just one little early bet, and things will change.
Firster for Victor Barboza, 25% on debut, 30% in the maiden claiming race. I get it. I thought it was a little odd that Jesus Rios rides. He has no prior history with the barn, so we'll see what we get there. But like Ronnie said, early, taking money, though.
The second race today is going to be about 5 furlongs on the Tapeta Maiden Special Weight. 2-year-olds did have a couple of scratches in here. The 1 Bart's Dream and the number 7 Always There. And we'll kick it off with the horse you have on top, and that's Kohaku, who's stretching out the 5/8 today after tracking the pace. That was his 4.5 furlong debut.
Yeah, and he had some trouble that day. You know, my note says in tight at the start, veered to the left, checked soon thereafter, and he was game to get second. And listen, we've talked about this a lot. These 2-year-olds that don't have things go their way, sometimes they can quit. I was impressed with his chase and his interest in there. Zelensky Strong ran off the screen that day. Kohaku was game to get second. They bet him hard that day. Unraced stamp, 6th foal, nothing else really going on in the pedigree. But George Delgado and Chantel, they team up together 23%, and I like that the money showed that day.
I think you got a stat on this horse, too, I believe.
Stat on this one as well. Yeah, here we go. 19 for 48, 40%, 245, and 2-year-old sprints at Gulfstream the past couple years. Now, with that being said, the majority of them are dirt sprints. There's no doubt about that. But we're sprinting here with 2-year-olds. You can see for yourself, it's a big angle for the barn.
The number 5, Dangerous Ride, is the son of Lord Nelson by Pulp. It debuting for Carlos Davis. Sports a solid 20%, win average with his first-time starters. And you're getting the services of Paco Lopez today.
And they teamed up to win a 2-year-old race yesterday on the Tapeta. That was with an experienced second-time starter. You get a firster here. Dam was 0 for 14, 7th foal out of the dam. The other 6 were not much, but as you said, Paco's here. I think that's significant.
And the number 4 horse in here this afternoon, mine picks, I think, 354, but that's neither here nor there. The number 4, I probably sent them up wrong.
Those are my picks.
Oh, yeah, well, I was copying you. Yeah.
Okay.
Conrado, I probably sent them up wrong. Another from Jorge Delgado, Georgie Delgado, son of First Dude, working sharply for the debut. 3 furlong bullet gate work recently in the mud should put some speed into this horse.
I agree. The dam was 3 for 8. She won 2 stakes. It did take her 4 starts to break her maiden, so food for thought there. 4th foal, the other 3, not much, but you're right. There's a slew of works here, working very, very well for a 29% debut barn.
And that is race number 2 today. So 2-year-olds on the all-weather. We'll see how that works out. We're going to go to the turf for race number 3. And as Brian mentioned at the top when he was putting his ticket together, pretty, good race here. 5 furlongs on the turf allowance, optional claimer 3-year-olds. The optional claiming price, $75,000. This is a pretty nice race. And you did go with the number 2 horse in here, Mogaloo, on top like I did.
You know what's odd, Ronnie? We've got a turf sprint with some good horses. There's 6 of them entered. There's not really a lot of confirmed speed. And I wonder with Jaramillo getting aboard Mogaloo and a horse that had shown speed in the past, I wonder if he's aggressive. We're second off the layoff here. You team him with Victor Barboza. He's over 20%. I wonder with an aggressive ride if he can make the point, capture the time. Is so good. We know that one. I wonder if he goes to the lead here and tries to wire this field in the race where I think the lead is clearly there for the taking.
Yeah, he tracked some pretty solid fractions last time out. Victor Barboza is pretty solid, 29% with horses making their second start after 45 to 180-day layoff. And once again, with a caveat that this does most of their running on the main track. They're not really. But this horse, I agree with Brian wholeheartedly, the one to beat. The number 5, Always Gambling, you have in second. Want to go back? We're just going to show you the start here and just some run up the backstretch for Always Gambling here. And Always Gambling is the number 5 this day. And just going to see, there it is. Good job by Bob to circle it. And I just wanted to show how much this horse was up against it later on. Just had that little bit of that. He was back there. Yep. He's back with 75 optional claimers. That was the first race after the claim by Claudio Gonzalez. That was that optional claiming score, 2 back. Then he followed that with that slow starting 4th, as you saw in the Raw Stakes.
And the Roar was a really, really good race. The wire-to-wire winner, and then there's Capture the Time, who's been streaking down here. So he comes out of the right race, back on short rest, 13 days. And I thought it was a confident move that Claudio started him in that stakes race as well. So, yeah, he's a player in here. I think the flow of the race might be against him a little bit, though.
The horse that really intrigues me in here is the 3, Trust Daddy, who broke his maiden sprinting on the Laurel turf and was second in the 6-furlong $100,000 Atlantic Beach at Belmont. Returns to action. Now it comes back as a gelding. He set the pace. He weakened late. That was in the mile in the 16th Central Park. If you go back and look at that race, it was a while back, produced a trio of next out, not winners, next out stakes winners from 6 starters. Jerry O'Dwyer, it's Lasix for this assignment. Boy, there's this nice resume on this horse.
Very, very true. And Cy Dog came out of that race. He was undefeated going into a Derby Day Stakes. I just wonder if maybe this is the comeback for another spot, maybe longer down the road. But this is a horse with a lot of talent. Lasix in the first-time gelding, so he's getting a lot thrown out at him for a barn that's overdue to get a win down here.
Yeah, so it was a good race. We'll see how that one runs this afternoon. We're going to take a short break. And when we come back, we'll have my Rainbow Six ticket, which is going to be part of a $500,000 gross jackpot guarantee here at beautiful Gulfstream Park. We'll be right back.
And they're off. Second in the 2-path. Round off first inside. Race. A quarter of a mile to go, and he's 6 yards out. Last of the 12 as they roll into the backstretch.
Master horse racing with the power of daily racing form. DRF has helped players win at the races for 125 years. Now the information you trust is better than ever. Get exclusive late-breaking news from our reporters at tracks across the country. Position yourself to win by adding Buyer speed figures and the new DRF formulator to your handicapping arsenal. Go to drf.com today. Use coupon code DRF2020 to get a free formulator card and start winning.
Welcome back to Gulfstream today, Ron and Brian. 4th race this afternoon. It's a 1-mile maiden special weight for 3-year-olds and up with no scratches and jockey changes. 43.20 for me, and I'll show you my ticket right now. 3 deep in here. We'll talk about race number 4 in a moment. In race number 5, talking about wide open. This one is wide open. I ended up going with Long Beach Kid, Poco Charlie, and the speed of catching fish. We'll show you a video there, and I think you got a stat. In race number 6, I think the one to beat is Queen Calypso. I threw in Ali Z because that one closes if there's a fast pace. Maybe that one gets up. In race number 7, another wide open affair. I went with Honored Guest, the 10, Cindy Song, Sandpiper Memories. I like Chucky in race number 8 along with Brasio de Ferro, which I like saying that name. And in the last race, my little bit of a long shot high press was only beaten 3/4 on the Torpedo. I like this one going back today, so we'll see how high press. I think 8 or 10 to 1 on the line. So race 4 this afternoon, a 1-mile event. Interesting to see how you started it off.
I started off with Refua, the 5 for Louis Duco on the little bit on the outside. I think this is a good attack post. Miguel Vasquez has ridden this one 3 starts in a row. I like the fact that he's going to stick around. We're going to talk about the firster in a second, I'm sure, but I like his experience. I like the races he's coming out of, and just maybe today is the day that he gets over the top. In a race, I think we would both admit, Ronnie, that is there for the taking if someone wants to jump up.
Yeah, and a little earlier this morning, I went back and looked at this race, and this horse broke slowly in that race and then came up, and he was beating a half length for Louis Duco. Miguel Vasquez, of course, our leading rider going into today, will be in the saddle. Before we get to that first time starter Social Empire, I wanted to show you Reddington, who's going to break today. I want to show you just the top of the stretch home. I thought this was such a game performance last time out. Reddington is the number 3 in there, and then you see Batter Up Bud, the 8-5 favorite. And watch these two down to the wire. It is very impressive. Now you see that Reddington has the lead, and then the 5 horses are going to come up, Batter Up Bud, and get it back. Look at this right to the wire. It looks like the 3 and no. At the end, it was just a 5. I just thought that was an ultra game performance.
And well clear a third,
right,
too.
Yeah.
So I think that stacks up nicely with this group. He's going to have to wire this field from the inside, but you look on paper, there's not that much pace in here. He might be able to do it.
The number 6, Social Empire, of course, is the horse we were alluding to, the first-time starter, $250,000 son of Classic Empire, debuting for Safi Joseph Jr. with Lasix, and a string of really solid workouts showing at Palmettos.
In which we showed one yesterday on the Lightning Round, that 423 bullet at Palmettos. They paid $250,000 for a son of Classic Empire, fourth foal out of the dam who was unraced, but this is a half-brother to Keeper of the Stars, who we know out at our sister track, Santa Anita, a Grade 1 winner, a multiple graded stakes winner, on the turf going long. Safi not necessarily known as a guy that's going to crank him up with first-time starters. Good enough, 13%, don't get me wrong. It'll be interesting to see what we get from Social Empire today. If he can run, he's in a good spot. I'll put it that way. If he can run and he's ready to roll today, he is in a good spot. Check the tote board here, too. You don't want to see this horse up there at 7-1 come post time. He's supposed to get bet today.
Emisael Jaramillo will be in the saddle. And as I mentioned, race 5 was a real head-scratcher for me. It's a mile in the 16th about on the Tapeta. Claim is 4-year-olds and up with $10,000. Scratch the 4, the 7, and all the also eligible entries, 13 down through 16. And we're going to look at your late pick 5 ticket.
Yeah, I don't know if we've run a lower level claim around the Tapeta deeper than this race. It's good. I went 2 deep. Honestly, I could have went 7 deep. I'm not going to do that. So I picked my 2 best. We'll get to it in a second on this $24 play. In race 6, which kicks off the late pick 4, I go down inside. Make no mistake, in the 7th, it's 53 is the order with California Gigi. My long shot play of the day is in race 8 with Cozy, my boy. My best bet, singling my best bet on the end. Fake ID, Ronnie.
Yeah, we got a video.
You know anything about that?
Yeah, I did when I was younger, but the fake ID, we got a video we're going to show, and that's going back in 1926. It was easy to fake things back then. No, just joking. A mile in the 16th on the Tapeta. Claim is 4 and up, $10,000. You know, I picked Long Beach Kid, you picked Poco Charlie, so let's go back and revisit their last race. And first, we're going to show you the start and the run up the first turn. Look at Poco Charlie in this race as he's going up there. He just keeps searching for room. You're going to see it. He is the #1 horse in here. Just has one of those trips where they just couldn't find a place to go. And you know, just... You'll see it up. I don't know how long we played it up, going up, but it's this way, all the way up the backstretch. He's just like, yeah, just like trying to find some room in there, and it just doesn't work out. And you'll see just keep steadying and just going back and looking for that place to run. You know, you can see Chantal has got, her feet in the stirrup, just trying to find a spot to close. And then we're going to switch it up and show, that, when we get to, to the stretch, while the Long Beach Kid will get up to win it, but that'll be in a little while. And then you see the #1, and here comes the stretch, and there's the 1, and there's the 4. And like I said, Long Beach Kid gets up to win it, but you'll see, the Poco Charlie gets some clear run and comes running late. So who had the worst trip? Absolutely Poco Charlie.
Yeah, and he wants to be closer, too. And Chantel just didn't have anywhere to go in that kind of spot. And you could see his ears pricked early on, wanted to run. It just wasn't there. And it definitely cost him a little bit. You see in his past performances, especially 2 back, he wants to be probably a little closer. They went a crawl that day, and she just couldn't get him into the race. So I would think with a clearer path early, he'll be involved throughout. And we just kind of swap this exacta.
Look, we got a visitor over there.
It's a big timer over there.
Big timer over there.
Big timer over there.
What about the 8? You didn't use the 8. I didn't know what to do with this horse. Catching Fish, who's dropping a notch, returning to the all-weather surface today after setting the pace. Got nailed late, was beaten ahead against those claimers going a 2-turn mile on the turf. The trainer is Najib Abudhadia. He's had Emisael Jaramillo handling the surface switch today. I just kept going back to this horse that he might be the speed in here.
Well, I think you said something very important there. Jaramillo gets aboard today. And we know how intent he is and how aggressive he is and how good he is at putting horses on the lead. And this horse got headed out last time with Edgar Perez. Now Emisael takes over, and you said it. He's going today. If nobody runs with him, he might not come back to this field. I think he's very, very dangerous on a theft job. And
what about the number 10 that I know you have highly rated up there on your ticket? And third, and that is Stage Ready.
Well, we've talked about Richard the last couple of days here, and he hasn't started a lot of horses since he's come back, but the horses he's run have been very, very live. He's won a couple already off the claim as he puts more stock into the barn. He's going to grab this one from Jeff Mullins. I wonder if this is a good claim at the right time, because he grabbed this one for 10 last time off that January 7th Santa Anita layoff. So this horse was off. Now he's catching this horse second start of the form cycle. Maybe he moves forward a little bit today.
And Antonio Sano trained the long shot pick yesterday, which was a pretty nice one. I think 10-1 it ended up going off. And I think you got a stat on Antonio?
Yeah, let's take a
Farley.
Look. Yeah, with Farley and Antonio. This is kind of his thing, 14%, a big ROI, Tapeta routes. I popped with him on a sprint yesterday on the Tapeta, but Tapeta routes 229 ROI. So this is where he does some of his best work. Don't sleep on Farley. Harley down inside. He's another one that can be involved throughout.
Well, we'll go to race number 6 this afternoon, and it's 5 furlongs on the Tapeta, starter optional claimer. Fillies and mares 4 and up, starter for 8 less, or the tag of $16,000. Boy, and I really like Queen Calypso today, who's dropping a notch and cutting back to 5 furlongs. She had a 3-race win streak in when she finished a chase to pace third against 32,000 starter optional claimers. That was going 5.5 furlongs on the all-weather for Gustavo Delgado, Paco Lopez. Love the turn back this afternoon.
Yeah, and we've got a stat to bring up here, too, for Gustavo. I'll take a look at it here. 6 for 15, 40% sprints on the Tapeta at Gulfstream. He's also got the 5, Follow Me Mom, food for thought. She's a much longer shot, but Queen Calypso down inside. Ronnie, I think this horse, if not loose, Paco will certainly put this horse on the lead. We saw it in the 2-year-old race yesterday. You better have your boots tied on if you want to outfinish Paco, because he's going to will him to the line.
Yeah, so I just thought this horse, and I like the stat now, makes me like this horse even more, but you did go to the inside of horse a little further down. We actually got our super flip-flopped around. Make no mistake, you would think we should be primed and ready to offer a best in that first race after the claim by Steve Clicetis.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, she was second to Alize last time, but I like the potential flow of the race for her today. We know Queen Calypso's going. I think Day's Humor to her outside is not letting anybody get too far away early. It should put, make no mistake, in the catbird seat, second off the layoff, as you said, for Steve K. I think she can move forward in here and maybe just post a little bit of a surprise.
Well, you're looking for a stony closer in here. It's definitely number 7 horse in here. Is trying to make it 3 come from behind victories in a row after responding in that first race after the claim by Orban Mirage with a score at this level and distance. And I think if someone goes up with Queen Calypso, like you said, might see the same pace scenario that affords her recent success.
She's a cool horse, isn't she? I mean, she's found a new home on the Tapeta, 3 for 6. 3 out of 4. Got her to win last time off the claim, and she hits hard right back in a spot where she can't be claimed. I like that, too.
So we'll see how race 6 plays out. Now, race number 7 this afternoon is about 7.5 furlongs on the turf. Claim is Phillies 3 or 4 and up, non-winners of 2, 20 down to 16. Nothing better to kick off the final pick 4 of the afternoon when an 11 horse field. So you went with we're totally different here, which I like.
It's that kind of race.
Yeah, I want to hear about California Gigi.
Well, I mean, she's been routing on the Tapeta, and I think she's been running okay. I thought her last was a real sign in the right direction. She should be a square price in here. Edgar Perez has been in pretty good form, booting home some prices as well. Joe Orsino, I know he's just 1 for 23 first turf, but he does do a good job. He should have won the stakes the other day. And I see a lot of speed in this race, Ronnie, and I see a horse here that can settle mid-pack and make a run by California Chrome out of a summer bird mare. So there's some turf in there, especially on the bottom of this pedigree. And it's a race where I just want to look for a square price as well.
Yeah, I went with the number 10 horse in here, second on the morning line. That's Honored Guesses, making a local return to first start since returning from a long layoff of about 13 months in March to defeat 25 maidens. That was going a mile and a 16th on the fairgrounds turf. Louis Russell, he's pretty solid. He's 22% with his 61 to 180 layoff. And he's got MSC El Jaramillo atop this Gary and Mary West, homebred daughter of Tapazar. Really nicely bred. Of course, in for this claimant tag. I just thought this horse was in a good spot.
Yeah, I mean, look at the percentage when you put Amicio on. They're 39% together. Mr. Louis, this will be his 3rd summer down here at Gulfstream, winning at a high rate. I just don't like this post. I mean, that's where I had a problem with this in a wide-open race from a tough draw.
The number 3, Cindy Song, the only horse we agree on here, is dropping to the 20 level, adding blinkers, stalked the pace, faded through the lane against those condition claimers. Chantal with Ralph Nix. Thought when the smoke clears, this was the one to beat.
I tend to agree because we've got tactical speed. We're well drawn. We don't have to be on the lead. So if somebody goes crazy early, Chantal can sit right off. Ralph has been having just a huge 2022 in general. Chantal has caught fire probably over the last 3 weeks. So you're in a good spot here with Cindy Song.
So your 3rd horse is the number 11.
Yeah.
My horse, the number 10. What about the 11 now?
11's got no speed.
Oh. So he's going to close.
Not necessarily a good thing, but my point is the 11's not going to be getting involved into that quick run to the first turn. Hopefully we can get over, save a little ground. They hit early, maybe we can run on late. Tried to catch me there.
I'll accept it. Yeah, I'll accept that. The number 4, Sandpiper Memories, who you have nowhere on your board either, moves to the Gilberto Zerpo after the claim. Debuts on the turf, going to add blinkers today. Showed speed, got caught late in back-to-back outings going a mile 70 yards on the Tapeta. They're good with new claims. It's not mostly turf horses, but you're getting Mr. Paco Lopez handling the surface switch today. I think this one's going to be woo-woo somewhere up there.
And that's another reason why I went with a price and went with off the pace, because as we've kind of been, deciphering this race, we're talking about plenty of speed in here.
Well, as you can see, wide open. So if you got a couple of singles in the late Rainbow Six or Pick 5, maybe you go all in this race, but it's a big field. Race number 8 this afternoon is 1 mile. Allowance optional claimer for these state-bred 3-year-olds and up. The optional claiming price is $20,000. No scratches or jockey changes. And I believe this is your long shot today, Cozy, my boy, to 7?
It is. Let me see what we get on the morning line here. I'm thinking 8s, and we do 8-1 for Diane Marici, who's been very, very live throughout the meet. And another horse where I think might get set up in a race where there seems to be an abundance of speed. Chucky's down inside. I know you're going to talk about him. Two Wayne to his outside, and I quite frankly just don't trust Two Wayne at all in here. And Cozy, my boy's been coming out of good races. Klugman, Mish, we know how good Mish has been. You're killing me. He's coming out of live good races, and maybe today he finally breaks through.
Yeah, Chucky is turning back to the 1-turn mile, which I like right there after dueling throughout, getting beat in neck against this level. But that's going around a mile in the 16th with the first finish line. Saffie Joseph Jr. been riding with using Elsa Morrison a lot. That's a 7-pound break in the weights. And Chucky just looked like a logical contender. I love the 1-turn mile. Turning back from that 2 turns with the first finish line.
Yeah, so that was the race, if you remember. I believe Chantel was on Tapsational down on the inside. They basically just dueled it out for 5-6 furlongs. Chucky did not want to go by, couldn't go by, to the credit of the duo to the inside. I just wonder, Ronnie, if he regresses a little bit today, because my goodness, he ran so hard last time. And if you're a figure player, you look at it, it was just the best he's done in quite some time.
Right.
I don't see him moving forward today.
Well, we'll see how that plays out, the turn back. What about the number 8 you have a little further down, Brazio de Ferro, who's cutting back to his best distance, 10 races, 2 wins, 2 seconds, a third after getting parked wide, failed to get on track when finishing a distant 6th in that race you were alluding to behind Chucky. The D'Angelos have leading jockey Miguel Vasquez handling it. This is going to be an outside stalking trip.
I'm stunned you used this horse today,
What?
Just, how do you say it again?
Brazio de Ferro.
I like to cut back to 1 turn. I think that's going to help him a lot, because you said it. You look at the race 2 back, it was a really, really strong 4th. Last time he couldn't see out the 2 turns. You look at his prior past performances, there's no doubt the 1-turn mile is his thing.
The number 6, Tuame, I know you disregarded. This is a lightly raced son of Kozan, stretching out to a mile. He responded in that first race after the claim by Oscar Gonzalez with a workman-like 3rd-place finish against 20 claimers going 6th. The barn, this is limited 19% with a $5.85 return to investors. Horses stretching out in distance. Edgar Perez handling the added real estate today. His horse, I just think, could be along for a part of the Tri or the Super. At a price, I think, 12-1 on the morning line.
Maybe his form's going back the other way. Listen, if we get the good to Wayne, he'll win this race. There's no doubt about it. It was just, we talked about it 2 back. It was odd to see him for 35 off such a good maiden win when he was not in for a tag. He doesn't fire, comes back, claimed for 35. He runs for 20. He wasn't that good that day. At least the positive, I'll give him this. He's not in for a tag today.
Well, let's go to race number 9 this afternoon. 5.5 furlongs about distance on the Tapeta. Claim is 3, a 4 and up, non-winners of 2, 12-5 down to 10. Scratch the 6, excellent mark. We'll start it off in here with Brian's best bet of the day, and that is Fake ID. And we're going to go back and show you this horse. We're going to pick it up at the top of the stretch. And what I want you to watch is just how easily this horse wins this race. He just cruises to victory. You'll see the jock here, and this is the number 3 in here. Just cruises. Look at that. He just, gives him a little bit of his rein, and he just clears and takes off. You'll never see a crop or anything used in here. He didn't need it. He just cruised to victory.
Yeah, and I think he gets set up in here. There's a ton of speed to do it again. He is facing winners. I get it, but I'm probably a broken record by now. But I think this is the right kind of spot where you're allowed off such a breakthrough win. That was off the layoff, too. Sarah Nagel, to her credit, had him ready to roll right back to me today against a field that, boy, it's there to be had.
Yeah, I went with the number 1 High Press, who was beaten only 3/4 of a length on the Tapeta against 22 lifetime claimers. That was back in March. Now drops, returns to the all-weather surface today after making that middle move, tiring against 20 condition claimers. That was going 6 furlongs on the main track. I think this horse fits nicely here. It said wide open, Joe Cantonese. Every once in a while he pops. He's got Luca Panici in the saddle today, and I'm just going to key off that race back there where he was sneakily good and beaten only 3/4 of a length. And I'm looking for a price.
Is this your long shot today?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I mean, he figures. There's no doubt. The drop's got to play. You mentioned Joe can be crafty in spots like this. The drop, certainly. He's going to have to work out a trip from down there, but, you know, I have no problem looking for square value in this type of race.
Yeah, and what about the number 10 on the outside, War Feather?
Big race last time, right?
Yeah.
And it comes off a little bit of a layoff. He's got to get back to it, but to me, he might sit the right kind of trip.
Well, the morning line favorite in here is the horse I have in second, and that's Banker's Hours, who's plunging today to the 12.5 level. First start since fading against those 35 claimers, going 5. That was back during March. It's leading trainer Safi Joseph Jr. He's good with this type of layoff, over 20%. Edwin Gonzalez handling. But what we're going to call it, it's a very shaky drop down in here.
Hold your breath. Tread very, very lightly. In for 35 at 9-2. Doesn't run an inch. He did kept his speed off the layup. I will say that. Edwin rides. That's a positive, too. Yikes. You just don't know.
Yeah, you just, we had a similar situation in the last race yesterday. We didn't think that 8-horse would
I
run.
know.
It was gone. We both had some trepidation about it. So
Well said.
that is the 9-race card for us, but we're not done. We got the lightning round today, of course, and we got a couple of really nice races tomorrow, as we mentioned at the top.
Yeah, we do. I'm going to look at it here. The big drama. We got 2 stakes tomorrow. The big drama is front and center for the Florida breds. 7 furlongs, and boy, oh boy, did this one come up tough on the Saturday card. We're going to take a look at Gatsby winning 2 back. This is the Sunshine Sprint in the championship meet in January. How good he was. A 103 buyer, if that's for you, and a 103 buyer would bury this field. But boy, there's speed, there's contention. King Cab is in here taking on older. Sir Ollie's been going great guns. Cajun Magic on the 3-year-old Florida Derby stakes drop for Mike Yates. It is a fun race tomorrow to highlight the 12-race Saturday card.
Yeah, it's just really wide open. If Gatsby runs, not very consistent, but when this one fires,
Good point.
Boy, this one runs very well. What about that the Warriors Pride in the Sunny Isles?
Yeah, so Warriors Pride and the Virginian are going to go at it again in the Sunny Isles on the turf. That's race 6 tomorrow. We're going to take a look at that Warriors Pride just basically forgetting to stop at an absolute speed pop last time on the turf with Chantel aboard. Probably going to have to work a little harder tomorrow because there's other speed in here, but you will not have to look hard or worry about finding him early.
Yeah, I think there's a lot more speed in this race. I think there's going to be trouble. I went with the stalker in there that you alluded to. So, but just great. We'll see how that one plays out. Just went to the lead. How about the Rainbow Six situation here up? I think we're starting with our sister track, Pimlico, right? Somebody hit it yesterday.
So we had this all teed up to do dueling rainbows here today, and our buddy Brad in our ear says yesterday, I think they hit that thing in Pimlico yesterday. 479-801. So whoever you are out there, golf clap to you. It's absolutely score of a lifetime.
There was a $432,000 carryover from Preakness Saturday. Went over, and someone just nabs it on the first day. So congratulations to them. And, of course, we got a $500,000 jackpot guarantee in our Rainbow Six pool today, so lots going on.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you want to get involved, there's nothing better than free pass performances.
That's the way to go. And we got a free pass performances on all the first racing venues. So xbtv.com. You go on there, you have no excuses not to win that $500,000 here today.
Well, he just said you. So get on there, get those free PPs, and have at it because it's getting big here now. $500,000 of gross jackpot guarantee in race 4.
Good luck with all your selections this afternoon. We'll be back here for race number 1 in about 23 minutes.
The Thoroughbred Aftercare Alliance is really the vehicle for the transition for our racehorses coming off the track into a second career and safe environment for these horses when they're done racing. I've been passionate about racehorses my whole life, animals in general, and without the TAA to provide that oversight, there would be a big void in terms of making sure that we have this ongoing safe environment for our off-the-track racehorses. I'm excited about the undertaking and excited about working with our board and our team at the TAA to continue the wonderful progress that has been made. So I'm very excited about what the future holds.